Hi, chat. Good evening. I know it's a later stream today, but I hope you all are doing well on this Sunday evening. Um, Today we are going to be finishing, or at least getting most of the way through, What Remains of Edith Finch, which we started yesterday. If you did not see that, the VOD is up on my YouTube, which is linked in my About page. Um, yeah, I'm really excited. So, let me do that. Okay, what do we have to cover first? Uh, we are over halfway to our 50 follower goal to hit the requirements for affiliate, which is insane. Thank you all so much for following. If you are new here, hit that follow button. I'm trying to hit affiliate before I leave for the end of the summer for college. Um, Two, all of the VODs are now on YouTube. I had some struggle uploading my VOD from yesterday, but it is up. Um, let's see what else. Make sure you guys go check out my socials right down below my head. That's my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where I post clips, extra content, stuff like that. You should be seeing a lot more stuff going towards those three socials here in the next couple days. And then, like I mentioned in my About panel, is my YouTube, but also my Discord channel, where is the most, or where I update the most on when I'm going to stream, what I'm going to stream. Plus, it gives you guys an opportunity to chat amongst yourselves as Kenzoid viewers and recommend me games. And some other pretty cool stuff. My wonderful mod Phantom helped me set that up, so shout out to Phantom for that. Um, yeah, I think that's all I have to cover. I'm probably forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something, but that's okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, as you can see by the title, um, I literally did sleep most of today. The only time I was awake was I went to the movies to see the new Guardians of the Galaxy at like 1 o'clock. But other than that, I have been sleeping all day. Um, but I can't complain. I was tired and I wanted to put on my headphones and literally not do anything. I almost canceled stream just so I could lay and listen to music, but I didn't because I wanted to keep my streak up of daily streaming. I want to see how long I can keep that going. Like, I really want it to last, like, until I leave for college, but knowing me, I won't last that long. So, we're gonna try, though. We are gonna try. Also, I am gonna be eating, because I thought I would finish before I got here, but, I did not. So, if you weren't here yesterday, I just realized this is really quiet. Turn that up. There we go. If you missed yesterday, we got through 3 stories, I want to say. Four? Four. So we got through Molly, uh, which was the first story. Um, I would just tell you how they died, however, it doesn't ever really confirm how any of them died, for the most part. With some exceptions, but for the most part, it doesn't. Um, but yeah, we got through 4 stories. We are currently in Barbara's room, who had a comic book dedicated to her death because she was a child star who was murdered. At least that is what was implied. So, I think we have to go back through there. I don't know that I could be surrounded by this many pictures of my face, though. I think it would creep me out. And can you imagine having like people over to your house and being like, "Oh yeah, don't mind all the
I guess now I
childhood
know why Mom
pictures."
didn't like me playing with the music box.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Is there's a music box downstairs um that has the key to get into the garage. That was a part of Barbara's story.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
We listened to his story as well. Oh, here's Barbara.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Well, at least you're notorious for something, I guess. Bad luck and murder. Anything to put your name on the map. So this was Edie and oopsies, didn't mean to do that. So we did these 3 rooms, I believe. So I just figured I'd go back, give you guys a peek into the rooms we already did. That way, if I reference them, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So those are the rooms we already did.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
So that's where we gotta go next, but this is the last room. This is Molly's room. It is pretty cool. If you guys get a chance, I really do recommend like actually playing this game for yourself. It's a very different experience to just watching somebody play. Because there's just so much detail in this game that they didn't have to include, but they did, and I just love that. So we need to go this way. And there's the key. That's honestly a cool idea. You know, when you get a saving before you ever enter a room, it's like, it just gives you the creepiest vibes. Especially after watching the last story where she goes down here and it's like the most intense soundtrack ever. Hi, Kate! I love you too! That is so loud.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
I won't die. It is a little creepy because they use these for their memorial plaque things, so the fact that they have so many is like a little bit like, that's a little unsettling.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
There's something funny. No, there's not.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Walter is Barbara's younger brother.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Well, at least he took the time to paint his name on the bed, I guess. And somebody clearly came down here to make his memorial thing, so. Like, that's so sad. Like, he's underground, so he put a painting up so he wasn't, like, so freaked out. Because, I mean, I can't even imagine living underground. Like, I don't know that I could. Like, I don't go outside very often, but I feel like I still need to be able to see the sun.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Oh yes, canned peaches, my favorite dinner.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
No rumbling.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Part of me wonders why he doesn't just go through the other thing, like, into the house. Because, like, he knows people are living there. Because,
I know it's out there somewhere.
Alvinos.
Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake.
Like, how was that your first thought?
But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
Yeah, I mean, eating canned peaches
I
every
don't
day.
mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
This one, to me, is so sad. Like, he clearly was suffering from PTSD, and, like, the day he
Walter died
finally
when I was
decided...
6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Like, finally getting out, and then...
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
I'm trying not to talk over her. Finally getting out, and then immediately getting hit by a train. Immediately. Not even 5 seconds. Well, more than 5 seconds, but you know what I mean.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
But if you guys remember from...
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Yesterday, Edie was talking about a mole man living under their house. And I'm sorry, but an actual person living under the house creating tunnels, you're going to tell me that's not the equivalent of a mole man?
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
Oh my god, like the Conan Gray song. This.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Yeah, a little second memorial with the trains. Oh, that's so sad. I don't think the train runs anymore.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought
That
you
is
should know
so
about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
We'll say they do have a huge property.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Actually, I have to open the gate. I can't just, like, kick it.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
There's a
3
lot
of the
of
gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Oh. Gerbil murderer. It's interesting, like, you see some of them have, like, the animals carved into them. So, like, Christopher's a fish, Bob is a dog, Oliver's a rabbit, Shadow's a cat. Like, this one is probably a dog. But then you have Derpy and Derpy Jr., and you're just like, what are you? And then, like, these ones back here are carved, but they don't have names. Just makes you curious. Like, that's probably another dog. This one's a frog of some sort.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Oh. None of them lived very long either, which is sad. Like, Edie lived the longest, but... Oh, I never noticed that before, that he's in there. You can see the little guy walking out. Maybe a little morbid, you know, considering that's how he died, but, you know.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
This seems like a strange monument, though, I will say. Like, I guess it does make him, like, seem very honorable, like, a captain goes down with the ship kind of thing, but, I don't know, it's still, like...
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
What about these guys? And then, like, these
Her
guys...
dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
These guys don't even get, like, the sculptures like the other ones did. Like, they all got little sculptures representing who they are.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Like, he got one, I guess.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
That's why she said there might be 2. It's because he was never, like, confirmed dead. Actually, I think there might be a sequel game where they talk about him. I'd have to look into it. I know there is, like, another game in the universe, I believe.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Like, I think that's the biggest twist of this whole game, is, like, finding out why you're actually here.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
So this is Calvin's twin brother, the one who had the army room upstairs.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
I need to go on the other side of that door.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
You're right.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
some-
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Imagine photographing your own death. Oh man.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Yeah. Because Donna's her mom. Ah, no.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
It's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Oh my gosh. This is like the gnome again.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. Hey, there's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love,
Just
Sam.
that story. That's sad too. The switches.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, At least not very hard. Before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
I now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Clearly missing the next one, but I can't figure out where it is. Am I just blind? Where's the next one? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, here it is. I'm just blind.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
It is weird to
Wind
think of it.
picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Like a teenager as this active rebellion. I'm gonna fly a kite.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
I think for a guy so intense, he'd take it seriously.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Kind of a rough way to end that.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Screw her other brother, I guess.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Aw.
Louis was born a year later.
Aw. That's so sad. Wonder. Can I go this way? No, I can't go this way.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
Well, yeah, you guys are the Finches. You are just leaving the doors open. Like, I didn't notice it, but...
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Can we go up? No, we can't go up. Okay.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Ah, no! Dang it. What a cool thing to build, though. Full observatory, like art room.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
I mean, yeah, that
Whatever
would
Milton
be
had
pretty
found
hard.
in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Well, it's clear he found all the pathways, so I wonder, like... I went the wrong way.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room, except Lewis.
Oh, we got that extra achievement, the one that we were missing. Imagine adding a boat to the top of your house. Like, what would... How do you even think of that?
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
That's okay. Me too. That's his little thing. He didn't get a memorial, which is sad. Because they moved out
He
before.
was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
This one's hard because you have to do two things at once, because this guy is controlled with like my arrow keys and then the fish is controlled with my mouse.
But
Which
he
is the
found
point.
something more.
You know, it's supposed to show how he like withdrew
I worried
himself.
about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
You can see it growing and growing.
I even encouraged him.
Ah yes.
It seemed
Let
very
your-
promising at first.
Let your mind wander while you handle very sharp knife and cut fish heads off.
He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
Can't say he's not creative.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Ain't exactly the most creative of
St.
names.
Louis.
But...
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
You know what?
beautiful prince.
He's gay. Canon.
The prince was on his own quest for
Sure, why not?
sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his
Like, since he was so true to his heritage or whatever, like he was proud
electric
of it.
sitar.
Sitar makes more sense.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He
Can't
knew
even
the
see
world
the...
was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Yes, I'm gonna go through this tiny door. Here's his locker.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Do you know the brain can't imagine faces? Which is part of the reason, like, none of these characters have faces. In addition to the fact that the artists were probably like, I am not drawing faces.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
It's Molly! I've never noticed that before.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
It's so clearly a guillotine.
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Okay. Now I gotta get back out of here. I think we're almost done too. I think we only have a story
On the way
or
back
two.
from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
That's
I'm
so
not sure
cruel.
if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
And no matter her intention, it was cruel.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Just because you understand. I mean, I don't know.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
It is weird that up here has power, but, you know. Aww.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
A lot of freaking ladders in this house.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry,
Dang.
you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
I'm gonna be quiet during this part because
They
she talks a
called
lot.
it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful.
I'm sure.
I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
I'm sure the amount of dead
When the
fish is
fog
awful.
rolled in, I lost my way.
I said I was gonna be quiet and then I talked anyway.
I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
I saw rocks. Here we go. There's a bed.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
Not letting her finish was just.
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
At
And
least
then I
her
was
nails were
alone.
on point.
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Okay, I will say this end
This
part
journal was
is
supposed
so...
to be for you.
I don't know, it's a little... Like, I get it,
Well, I
it's a
hope
little
you'll
weird
never
though.
see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
And that is the end. I love this game. The detail and just the story as a whole is beautifully done. So if you want to play it, it is on Steam. I don't remember how much it cost. I know it wasn't free, but I don't think it was very expensive either. I could look it up if you guys are interested. But yeah, I think that's gonna be all for tonight. I know it wasn't a very long stream, but since we finished and I'm live every day, I think we can get away with a shorter stream today. So let me do this. You guys can listen to the music in the background. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you are following me here on Twitch and turning on those notifications. I stream every day this summer, and we're trying to hit our 50 follower goal, which is down in the corner down here. As you can see, we're over halfway there, which I'm very excited about. Thank you all so much for that. Also make sure you follow my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, which are all right here. I post clips and other content and stuff on there. You should see quite a bit of content coming out on there within the next week or so. And then also check out my YouTube and my Discord. Those are both linked to my About page. My YouTube has all of my VODs, all of my clips, and is getting some special content for it coming up here soon. And then my Discord is where I most consistently update what I'm going to be streaming when. You can also put in game suggestions and talk to other members of our community. It's a pretty cool spot just to hang out. We have some events planned for when we have a few more people in there. So that should be exciting. Maybe some movie nights, some trivia nights, something like that. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much again. Good night.